Welcome to Chai After Dark, everyone. I'm Sameem. I'm here with my murderous co-host, Shabnam.
I'm Shabnam, and I've not murdered anyone.
Okay.
I felt like I was at Alcoholics Anonymous.
I mean, when you watch 5 seasons of You, murder just becomes so ingrained. Like, oh, anybody can do it. It's
just like, hey, I'm annoyed. Let's just off the person. You know what I mean?
It's just
like,
no big deal,
whatever.
right? Like, Chai After Dark, hide the body before dusk. That's kind of what he does, right? Like,
and then have your chai after dark to relax, I guess. You know.
I don't know, man. I feel like Goldberg is in this closet behind me. Like, he's going to get mad if we talk shit about him.
Well, don't worry. You can give him his whiskey neat, and then he'll be fine.
Oh, man.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That song at the beginning? I was like, I like that song.
Neat. That's Hozier, right? That is the second most streamed song of 2024, and I'm glad they put it in there because I knew that random fact.
Nice.
I don't know what the first one is, though, so...
That's hilarious. You know a lot of random facts. You should go do bar trivia.
I do.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I go to this place called, I'm not going to say it because it's too close to my house, but I go to this place every Wednesday night, and I go by myself, and I sit at the bar in the corner, and everybody comes with groups of teams, including my daughter's school. A group of teachers come. Teachers.
Okay.
Like 6 or 7 of them.
Okay.
And I'm sitting by myself.
That's...
By the first half, I'm always like top 5. And by the second half, like, it gets really hard, and I drop to like 37th place. So I've never won, but I do quite well up until the first half.
And you're on your own. No, you don't have any team members.
Well, the bartender is Canadian, so every time there's a Commonwealth question, I ask him, and he doesn't know shit either, but he's cool. Shout out, Mike.
That's funny.
Nice. Anyways, look, let's do some history, right? Because You has been on for many, many years. The initial season was 2018 when we were babies. So
right, I know, it's crazy.
This motherfucker's been killing people since 2018. Do you know how many total bodies he has? You know what his body count is? I looked it up.
What's his body count?
His body count is 23, including Uncle Bob.
Damn.
Right? Because Uncle Bob fucking gets it. So,
and by the way, listeners, we're doing episodes 1 and 2,
yeah.
So we'll do the other episodes in our following podcast episodes. So who knows? He might be up more as the season goes on.
Yeah.
But right now he's at 22. You said, right?
Yeah.
Or 23? What'd you say?
22 up until season 4, I believe, and then 23 with Bob.
Oh, okay.
And
nice.
We haven't watched episodes 3 and beyond, and the reason why we do that is because I'll jump ahead. A lot of thoughts come into my head if I've watched 8 of these episodes, so we got to watch 2 at a time, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So season 1, he kills Beck. Sorry, Beck.
Yeah.
And some other people.
Yeah.
Benji.
Yeah.
Benji from season 1, dude. That guy is my favorite character so far. The guy that had the probiotic soda that he was trying to hawk in season 1. And then season 2, he goes to LA and he becomes like West Hollywood personified. He's at, what's that grocery store called? Erewhon.
He works
at like a fake Erewhon in season 2. Right?
Did they even have Erewhon back in when did Erewhon open?
I have no idea, but
know.
Season 2 was like 2019, 2020, right? So he ends up murdering Love Quinn, who tries to murder him. That was season 2. Season 3 is when he goes to... Shit, what's season 3, Shabnam?
Season 3 is with the black girl.
Oh, Marianne.
I don't remember what it is.
Yeah. Oh, she was beautiful. She found out she was too smart, so he had to kill her too.
Yeah.
Season 4, I'm going to say, goes off the rails a little bit. He ends up in London, and he's a professor, and then he cosplays a politician that is supposed to be the killer of Kate's friends, right? The rich man killer or something like that. And it ends up being Joe, and it's a Fight Club situation because he's hallucinating, and he is the friend killer. It wasn't Reese, the politician. So him and Kate survive, and now we're here. Season 5.
Well, and Kate's a billionaire,
yeah.
So now he gets all the rich 1%er privilege, and he comes back to New York, gets his record expunged. He can be Joe Goldberg in New York again, and he can just live his life out to its fullest instead of trying to hide and run to these different places because he's afraid of getting caught.
Look, no one's going to be surprised what my boiling point is going to be today, but you did kind of catch on to it. I'm going to hold it, but let's just say, let's shout out Kabir Singh again on America's Got Talent. Only a white man, I'm sorry, could get away with this level of murdering We would never.
Well,
how would we ever get away with this? Come on, man. This is not anything against white people. Of course, I understand it's a TV show, by the way, everybody. Before we get hate mail, let's hold it till the end. Yeah, let's get into this first episode.
Yeah. So, gosh, okay. The first episode, the first part is what we just talked about, where he's like, yeah, I get to go back to New York with my real name, and now I'm like filthy rich.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep laughing. I don't like, the more he murders, the more he becomes wealthy and rich and famous. It's unreal. I didn't know this guy was like Jack the Ripper type.
Don't you think there's probably people in the real world that it works like this for, just not us? I mean, I've never felt the desire to kill someone, to be honest, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought about like what our take would be throughout this episode today, and I wanted to ask you, like, I know, dude, sorry, audience, we got 15 seconds into a recap before we start talking about this, but I don't think I've ever come close to murdering anybody. And I've had a pretty funky-ass life. Like,
yeah, same.
I don't think, like, even... obviously, it's some sort of psychological condition.
People don't realize... People don't realize that you and I have had really funky ass lives. But to be honest, maybe a lot of people have funky ass lives and they just don't.
Well, Joe had to kill his mom's abusive boyfriend, right? That's the backstory on why he is violent. And I completely understand that. Actually, I don't understand that at all. But I understand the psychology behind it.
Yeah.
But I don't think like murder is an answer to anything. It's the most obvious podcast on the air right now.
You'd think, right?
Hey, I did want to like bring up a couple of murderers just to show people that you can kind of like get away with some shit. Okay, so right now in New Jersey, there's a politician. I don't want to say his name just because I don't want him to end up in my closet behind me. He's a former mob guy with ties to the Gotti family, and he literally says he's murdered 20 to 30 people, and he's beaten about 100 people with baseball bats. And he did go to prison, I think, but he flipped on everyone. So he got released out of prison in like 2020 or 2021. He just got nominated for the city that he lives in to get on their city council. And he's on their city council.
So what you're saying is art imitates life?
That's all I'm going to say, because otherwise you're going to get me going and I'm not going to stop. But that's all I kind of want to say. He did murder people, and he's a successful city council politician. And I don't want to say the name, like I said, because this motherfucker's got ties to the mob. Seems like he's turned his shit around, but now I don't know if he's still carrying on.
Everybody deserves a 35th chance, you know what I mean?
I mean, Joe's on his 23rd chance, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's higher, Joe's body count murderous or body count sexually? Because he's a motherfucking prolific philanderer as well.
I think his sexual body count's higher.
Yeah, right? Because he doesn't know what he likes more. It's manic pixie girls like Zoe Deschanel from New Girl. That's like his type.
Yeah.
So he fucks them,
but
and then
you know
he kills
what?
them.
He almost kills everyone he fucks, but then he also fucks people he doesn't kill. So that's why his sexual body
he saved
count's
people
higher.
too. So here I come, redeeming the most murderous man in New York City today, Joe Goldberg. He's actually saved 6 people, including Peach, and then he kills her anyways. So
does that count?
I don't know. He saved Phoebe. He saved a couple other people. My biggest issue with Joe is like he murders people, but then he also murders the ancillary people, like the girl's ex-boyfriend, stuff like that. Like he'll just go and randomly murder people.
He ties up his loose ends, okay? Literally, he should be in the mob. So me and Brian have been watching Queen of South. It's an older show. So they always talk about tying up their loose ends. I feel like Joe Goldberg's really good about that.
Is he? He's like finding people in his cage like every other day. The worst name on earth, by the way, Bronte is an Irish surname. So like she's Irish. Obviously she's Irish. She's a redhead, the new character, Bronte. But what kind of name is that? It's a Gaelic name. I actually know what kind of name it is, but it's a surname.
Well, maybe it's her actual last name. Maybe her first name is one of those really hard Irish ones that's like Siobhan.
Yeah, like
but it's
Seamus,
like Siobhan,
but it's spelled like super crazy. I don't know any like Shaylin. Yeah, but it's like SHO.
There's some Irish ones that are like, whoa, how do you?
I like
even
Irish
say
names.
That? So
actually,
who knows?
I did a deep dive once on Irish names for a particular reason. I'm not going to say why.
Yeah, and then Anyways,
I know.
I mean, look, I use my now middle name everywhere. Someone asks me my name and they're at a cash register. I give them my middle name / birth last name.
I'm gonna start saying Bronte, and see if any baristas are like, "You've been watching You."
You should. That'd be hilarious.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of the first episode. So Joe, like Shabnam said, ends up a billionaire by virtue of Kate.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, okay, sorry, we're not going to get very far into this story. How the fuck do you marry someone and you're like, hey, I'm super cool with you being a murderer, but you got to murder the people that only make my life better. You can't be going around murdering people that make your life better. That's literally what she says to him at the end of the episode, too. Like,
so you're saying that people that murder people should be really rational and fair about who they're allowed to
that's what
to
Kate
murder.
thinks. Kate is like, you have to murder my half-sister, right? Anna Camp's character. Oh, by the way, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Anna Camp, she's playing both twins, by the way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's cool.
Maddie
and Reagan. But
yeah, super
I already
cool.
knew. I was like, this guy's going to murder the wrong person. And in the second episode, he already fucking kidnaps the wrong person. Like,
yeah,
let's get back.
Go through
Sorry.
it a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
get back. So
sorry,
so
I'm still
basically-
high off Coachella. It's been 9 days.
So basically, Kate is at this fancy dinner because she's the CEO of her dad's and her family's like Lockwood Corporation. And she says in front of everyone that the corporation's going to donate up to 25% to a charity project. And everybody gets pissed at her. They're like, you didn't even check with the board and whatever. But I don't get it. She said up to 25%. So that means they could do zero. Zero is up to 25%, or even 1% is up to 25%.
Yeah.
So the whole premise of this whole thing is bullshit. Like, they don't need to be that upset with her.
Rich and wealthy and powerful people don't give 25% of their net worth to charity? Oh, I didn't know that.
They give up to 25%,
Yeah.
and 0.1% is up to 25%.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm glad we're taking a little break here. Yeah, I do know a lot of random facts. So Mark Zuckerberg a few years ago pulled out that I'm giving it my 95% of my wealth away along with his wife. And this is when he was worth like 30 bill, 50 bill, right? Before he became 200 bill, and now he's back down to 100 bill. Doesn't matter. The 95%, you know what it ended up being? It was like a research Zuckerberg Labs gonna save the world, and he just like funneled money into this startup essentially. But he's like, don't trust me, bro, it's gonna be for good purposes. So these motherfuckers aren't giving anything away, right? Other than Mackenzie Scott, maybe, but whatever. So Kate's a billionaire, Joe's a billionaire.
They're at this party. Joe finds out there's a hit piece out on Kate, and it's for that pipeline that she forged documents for her father that ended up killing a bunch of kids with cancer. Oops.
Goofiest storyline of all time. Missing a lot of steps there. I approved a pipeline. Then kids got cancer. It's just like, and then like just very like, oops, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's worse, right? Murdering over passion, or, making a few bucks and killing a bunch of kids,
murdering in droves
cancer.
over,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Are we bitter? Maybe. I think we're bitter.
I'm in a good mood, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna be bitter. I don't care. I mean, my life is very different every week, so I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, I'm in a good mood, but I don't know. Somehow talking about this, I'm like, this is dark. Anyways, so Joe and Griffin, they go to try to investigate who has this hit piece out. So
dumb.
they go first to Reagan because, she's the head bitch, first suspect. And they go to her office and she's like getting off this call. And this was hilarious.
What does she yell?
She says, this isn't 2010. Tell him if he wants to raise money in a VC backwater like Silicon Valley. If he wants to actually get money, he should come to New York. And I was like,
I don't think that's true.
So,
I've seen a lot of suspect funding from VC offices the last year in Silicon Valley. But great writing.
Really?
Great writing.
I mean, but do you think Silicon Valley is gone downhill since 2018, 2019?
Well, I'm going to be very controversial here. People in Silicon Valley are not smart, right? They are the new Wall Street. Everything's about a buck, and it's not about the product and the innovation, right? Like that gets stolen many times over by somebody that wants to make the money. So I agree with you. Yeah, it's gone downhill because when I started in Silicon Valley, me and you, like, we're older, right? Like way back in 01, 02, 03, I had a lot of friends that worked there. It was... Yeah, we of course talked about like Google went IPO in like 04 or something like that, so 21 years ago, which is kind of insane. But yeah, dude, Silicon Valley's lost its like luster. I can't tell you how many people I talk to that like don't know like the most basic facts about working, I guess, in that sort of field.
Yeah.
And that's why they get stuck where they are.
Before, it used to be this charm.
Hollywood,
People would be like,
yeah.
Sand Hill
Yeah.
Road. And it was like, oh my God. And now it's like, I can't remember like the last time I ever heard someone say Sand Hill Road.
Yeah.
Like the last time was like literally probably 2018, 2019. You know,
Shout out.
no one gives a shit about Sand Hill Road.
If anybody here ever ends up in the Bay Area and you want to meet some of these motherfuckers that live off Sand Hill Road, Thursday nights, Rosewood Hotel. It's Cougar night. It's Cougar night. All the Menlo Park, Atherton women. You know, I tried, but it wasn't quite my vibe. I don't know. I don't know if I can marry a rich woman. I don't want Kate telling me to go murder her sister. It's apparently what happens if you marry a billionaire. But yeah, I don't know, dude. Silicon Valley sucks. Who cares? I'm in a really good mood, and Silicon Valley sucks. By the way,
So,
Joe Goldberg,
yeah.
book dealer, come on. Like, it's like the most anti-murder, serial murderer kind of job you can have, right? Because the more you learn, the more you do change your brain chemistry, I think. And this motherfucker...
You know, if you strip away like the top layer of the show, it's super cheesy.
Oh,
and I feel
yeah.
like it's pointing out how the audience is just like how we're like so dumb that we like this. You just put a little bit of glitter over the shit and all of a sudden it's exciting.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're showing. This is a really terrible mirror.
This is terrible. It's hilarious. And that's why I texted you in the morning. I'm like, this is so dumb. I love it. It's so
Yeah.
stupid because just in this first episode that we're describing, they already set up that one of the sisters is going to get killed. The brother, the black brother who came out of nowhere because the dad had an affair.
Because they wanted a little bit of diversity in the show.
So they're like, hey, we can't actually have a black person here. So yeah, the dad, he fucked the housekeeper. So in walks the brother.
Yeah.
Amazing storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like when you compare it against like Deli Boys or even like Chippendales that we've talked about in the past, there's no story here, right? Chippendales, there was a story. Deli Boys was a real story. This isn't a story. This is a murderous antagonist almost, right? But being played as a protagonist. Just the storyline with the characters doesn't make sense. We shouldn't be 5 seasons into this, right? Like, this guy should be locked the fuck up or dead.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like, how do we make a show about a like protagonist guy who's like shitty as hell?
Yeah.
Make him rich and make him white and make him like books.
It's amazing, right? I think that's like, is that your type? Look, if
No.
I was into men, and who knows, maybe one day, he should read books, right? And he should be well educated, and he should be clean cut. My only problem with Joe is the voices in his head. It's like, is that sexy, Shabnam? Like, if someone's looking at you, like Joe's looking at you, and the voices are just going on in his head, and then Bronte's like falling in love with him. Like, the motherfucker doesn't do anything, and he like has women throwing themselves at him, but they can't hear his inner dialogue. So what are they falling in love with?
I feel like Bronte's being manipulative too.
Yeah, I mean,
feel
she says that at the end of the
Bronte
second
wants
episode.
money.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Bronte wants money, right? She needs money.
Is she sexy? I don't think she's sexy. I'm blasting Bronte for no reason other than her being a thief.
She's weirdly sexy, you know. She could be Tinkerbell. If you cut her hair, she could play Tinkerbell.
Yeah, I mean, so I already said this, but what is the fascination with these? So about 10 years ago, this whole New Girl thing, Zooey Deschanel, it was the manic pixie fairy dust girl, like pixie dust girl, manic. It was like a thing that guys were super into, like that alternative girl that's like in her own little world, has like some manic personality traits, I guess. But the pixie comes from like the short hair and or like the Tinkerbell, kind of what you just said. So this was a literal thing that guys were into, and Zooey Deschanel is like the cover girl for it. So she was in New Girl, and then she plays the same fucking character. It's not the same character, it's a movie, but 500 Days of Summer with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So look that up, and I think that's where they got the inspiration for Bronte.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. I could see that.
Yeah. Hey, so we deep dive here, right? Like, you can't be putting out
sure.
Bronte. By the way, I've been watching basketball a lot, so I keep wanting to say La Bronte. And I need to stop myself.
That's funny. Okay,
Yeah.
so basically, Joe and Griffin end up discovering that it's actually Uncle Bob, Kate and Griffin's uncle, that is putting the hit piece out on Kate.
Yeah.
And they actually also find out because Joe's such a big creeper, he apparently has the passcode for Maddie's phone. And so he goes in there and finds out that they're doing this no confidence vote Friday. And so what does he do? Obviously, he talks to Kate. He's like, we got to kill Uncle Bob. So the whole episode, he's fantasizing about killing Uncle Bob. Even before he kills Uncle Bob, or we realize that Kate's on board with it, he's writing this fantasy about killing Uncle Bob. It's so weird. And like 3 times you think he killed Uncle Bob when Uncle Bob's not dead.
It was kind of strange. I was like, really? This quick? Like, you're going to kill off this guy? Isn't everyone going to know? And everyone does know. Like, it's obvious. Other than Griffin.
Yes. So then he finally kills Uncle Bob, but he makes it look like it's suicide.
Yeah.
Right. And all the while, there's also like, I don't know what Bronte's like thing is yet. You know, we're gonna probably find out in
at the end of
episodes,
at the end of episode 2, she said she wanted to steal one of those first edition books to pay rent, essentially.
But that's bullshit because basically she's snooping around so much in there and she's just being weird. And every woman that goes down and sees the cage, they think they should go inside the cage. And I'm like, let's use our common sense. If someone's devious enough to create a cage, maybe if you walk into it, it's going to lock automatically. Ever thought of that? Don't go inside the cage.
She actually did think about it because she knows about it. At the end of the second episode, she says, "You're famous. You and your wife have murder in your past." And then she got scared when he offered her the apartment. Also, okay, look, let me do a half boiling point here.
Okay.
Joe, you can't atone for your sins by paying a girl $5 more an hour or $8 more an hour, that weird fucking negotiation he was doing. You can't atone for your sins by picking a girl that you want to fuck and being nice to her. And that's what he's trying to do, right? That's what the character is trying to show. And I'm like, you're a murderous adulterer as well, because he also cheats on his girls. And you're like, I'm going to pay you $8 more an hour plus give you an apartment because in my fantasy, I want to fuck you and ultimately kill you, right? That's what he's like, that's where he's getting at. And she's like, I don't want this apartment because you might kill me. She like knew.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, dude, like how
But
ridiculous.
then he turns it around and manipulates her,
like,
you know, in all these reading, like basically he says to her that the writings are like a manipulation of his trauma as a child. And so he's the victim. Like he had this trauma happen to him as a child.
And then he gets up all in her face. And I was like, hey man, so, okay. All this murdering, all this fucking, all this like cheating, all this manipulation, and people do suspect that he's a murderer, right? Like here and there, like they like Peaches and a couple people from the university in season 4. Nadia gets framed for murder, by the way, at the end of season 4, the only Desi girl that's been in this show for 4 seasons. Anyways, shout out. Nobody told this guy to go to therapy. Motherfucker just like blasts his trauma to Bronte that he's known for a day and a half. No one's like, you know, bro, this is a lot. Like, maybe you should go to therapy.
But he tells his son to go to therapy. So, you know, it's like,
he didn't want him to, though, right? That's Reagan and Kate trying to appease Reagan, I guess. But he didn't.
I mean, I guess, but it seems like he kind of comes around to it because he does kind of love his kid in a sense.
Don't be like
whatever
me.
That means.
Also, a direct ripoff of Dexter and his son, Harrison. The violence that comes into... I know we talk about murder and true crime all the time, but I feel like I bring up Dexter quite a lot. But it's the same shit. I'm sorry, man. It's the only show I've watched fully, and Breaking Bad and The Office, those 3. So those are my references. I did bring up other shit.
And Queen of South, because you knew that.
Yeah? Well, I know that because it comes on my Netflix like watch screen when I'm like flipping through.
Nice.
I don't actually watch anything. A really quick story here. I used to be married to somebody that would literally flip through Netflix and Amazon, and it'd be like 8 o'clock, and then I'd go upstairs, I'd come back, or I'd be like zoned out on my phone, and then I would look up, it'd be like 9:30, and she's still flipping through. So that's why I actually watch a lot of TV.
Hey, it's hard to make decisions.
No, I know.
Okay?
I'm just putting that out there for everyone. Life's hard when you don't know what to watch.
Oh my God.
Anyways, what happens after they get rid of Bob?
Then in the second episode, basically we find out that Henry punched Gretchen in the nose and broke her nose at school. And Gretchen is Reagan's daughter. Of course, this is going to happen. Murphy's Law, this is going to happen.
The most specific shit that you can think of happens to Joe and whoever he's fucking at the time. It's amazing. Like, the shit that he just falls into. Like, hey, just really quick, I know we're going to talk about the kid throwing the knife in her face, too. But...
yeah.
But it like reminds me of I don't know, season 2 or season 3 when they have a random comedian that like loves 15-year-olds. So he's like, oh cool, I get to kill this guy too. And it was the neighbor, right? She was like 15, and then it was Chris D'Elia. He's a comedian, the white guy with the long hair, and he had like a sex dungeon in his.
Wait, this was in
in season 2, and then it's like a side story, but Joe was like super excited to kill him. So it's like. This guy just not only has to murder people that are like wronging him, I guess, like Reagan. She's not wronging him, but he also just murders people. I just want people to know that.
Well, I think he murders people that if he murders them, he'll feel like he does it for good. You know,
but he's not.
Like
but he's also murdering people that have done nothing.
Yeah, he's also murdering people for self-interest.
Yeah.
He's
a murderer.
People.
I just like. We need to like keep saying it because I kind of feel like there's a fandom and people are like, oh my God,
so
if this guy was in prison, I'm going to go get conjugal visits, right? Like just like the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. Like that guy had actual women that would come to prison and like court cases and they were like, he's so hot, even though he's like disgusting. He was like homeless. But anyways, Joe's got some... I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't think he has charisma. Like, I don't see it and I don't feel it. That's why I'm, like, confused why Bronte, Kate, everybody's... Oh, and the other sister, Maddie, wants him too?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it.
Because he's mysterious. Well, I think Maddie just wants to fuck all her sister's husbands. I think that's...
Oh, because she's fucking...
Yeah.
I don't know what that scene was, but, like...
Yeah.
But yeah, roleplay is cool too, but maybe not with your twin sister's goofy-ass husband, by the way. That guy's not even, like... There's no sexual bone in his body.
He was like, the pants are too tight, or
she's
he's
like,
getting
go get
hot
scissors.
in the leather pants. Yeah. So weird.
Of course, only Joe, of all people, would go to murder someone, and there's already there fake raping and murdering someone. Like, only in Joe's life. And we're just talking about Murphy's Law and coincidences. He's killing comedians in basements.
But, you know, if you stalk people and creep up on them at night to try to kill them, you might realize they're having an affair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, it happens. Of course it happens.
That's not that out of the question.
Yeah, you're right.
That's not that out of the question. It's just that, like, normal people are not like, hey, let me stalk someone and try to kidnap and kill them. Yeah. You know?
I can't figure out who's hotter, Reagan or Maddie.
Like, if someone tried... Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. But imagine if someone was going to stalk you to try to kidnap you, what would be like a weird thing they would find out? Don't answer that, maybe. I don't know.
My house is pure. There's nothing in this house that anybody would ever need to even question. I got nothing in this house. I got cleared out. No, I didn't. But what would they find for you?
Honestly, they would find me watching Queen of South.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It would be just like, like what am I doing like on a random weekday at like 10 o'clock at night?
Isn't that what everyone
watching
does?
TV and scrolling TikTok. I mean, no, because some people sleep with their siblings' spouses.
I mean, we just talked about the White Lotus. That was worse. So this one is at least not incestual.
Yeah, you know, Joe's the bad one in here, but you know, Maddie, you do you, I guess.
Okay, so
so
after Gretchen
basically,
gets fucked up by Henry.
Yeah. Then Kate decides to have a dinner to like appease Reagan because she wants to get Henry expelled from school. And Reagan's basically ready to burn shit down now because her daughter got punched in the nose. So they have this like dinner to appease her. And then Joe has this great line where he's like, Kate doesn't understand you can't negotiate with terrorists. And it's like, okay, Joe. And so then Reagan comes over. She brings her husband. She gets Maddie to come over and bring her man. And then also Griffin comes over. Griffin doesn't have a man, right?
I thought he's
just
Griffin
dating
has a
someone.
man.
But we don't
He's
see
not
him
here yet because they showed his Instagram for some reason and like they were setting up the characters in the first episode. Yeah, he has a man.
Yeah, so we had to get the most bang as we can for our buck in the show of diversity, a black guy and make him gay, so we can get 2 for 1. Right?
Housekeeper's kid. Shout out Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Jesus. So at the dinner, they were all so passive aggressive to each other. I was like, oh, I feel like so at home. This is like having dinner with a lot of Desi people.
Yeah,
like a lot of passive aggression.
Then she's like, how many of daddy's friends have to die before suspicion falls on you? So it became
we're
just
not
aggressive.
that open. Yeah, we're not that like, you know, we keep it passive aggressive. We don't go aggressive. So she made it more white. Yeah.
Well, I mean, she had good reason. She's not wrong.
She did. Yeah, she's
a very
not wrong.
smart CFO.
Yeah.
And then the motherfucker comes in and throws the butter knife at her face. I'm like, what? Like,
well, he throws the butter knife at her face, the kid, because Joe finally decides to tell her on her face that the reason why Henry did what he did is because her daughter said to Henry that his mom's a killer. And Joe was like thinking that Reagan's talking behind their back, saying that Love, his actual birth mother, was a killer. And she's like, no. I'm talking about my sister, Kate, this bitch right here, because she killed Uncle Bob because she didn't want the no confidence vote to like get her voted out of CEO. And then all hell breaks loose. Everybody starts yelling and the kid comes in, throws a butter knife.
Got you, bitch. Don't be talking about my Love Quinn murderous mother, but she wasn't talking about Love Quinn, right?
Yeah. Don't accuse me of murdering people I actually murdered. Like, fuck off.
It's still murder. Like, either way,
exactly.
Kate and Joe are not innocent. But okay, hold on. If a kid throws a butter knife at your face, it's pretty fucking weird, right? Like, even if he did say his mommy's a killer.
It's like, like impulse control issues for sure. Yeah. Right. I feel like children, I mean, I don't know. I haven't had a child. You've had a child. But humans, you'd hope, their first impulse when somebody hurts them is to be hurt. If your first impulse is to pick up the nearest thing to you and throw it at someone, that's either psychopathy or like trauma, in my non-expert opinion.
I agree. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've seen little boys do a lot of stupid shit, including I got stabbed in the fucking ass with a butter knife.
Really?
Yeah. In Fremont, California.
Can you tell that story?
I mean, there's not much to tell. Like,
it wasn't one of my. It wasn't one of my.
No,
nephews,
it wasn't any.
It? Okay, thank God.
Well, it was my first wife. Her family, one of their kids, when he was like 4 or 5 years old, like stabbed me in the butt with a butter knife outside in the backyard. And then I like told my wife at the time, and I got like gaslit, and people were like, who cares? It's a little boy. So then I was sort of like, well, then how do kids learn anything if you just let them do whatever they want?
Yeah.
And it was a butter knife, literally broke skin on one of my ass cheeks. Wow. So I was kind of like, okay, I just got literally stabbed. It's the first time I ever got stabbed, but I can say I have been stabbed in the ass by someone that looks funny. Just like Henry.
That's literally hilarious.
So when he threw the fucking knife, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Dude, this happened to me. Except it was a different head, not my actual head.
That's kind of crazy.
Fuck you, Reagan. That's
I don't even know. Yeah, exactly. I don't even know what to say.
It's okay.
To that story.
I've had a lot of gaslighting in my life, dude. If I ever had a comedy special, I would call it Gaslit, but Akash Singh, that's his comedy special name.
Oh, wow. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, he's Desi. I don't know.
You think that motherfucker wasn't gaslit us? Growing up? It's probably the same shit. So, anyways, butter knife story. Let's complete that arc and keep going.
So then what okay, so we've talked about Bronte. She decides to be this freaking weird-ass busybody.
Yeah. Well, she's into him because she's into his lore, into his fame, into the urban myth of Joe Goldberg being the killer. That's what she says at the end of episode 2.
She's like the woman that would want the conjugal visit if he was in prison.
She does say, I don't fuck Mary Ben, though. She did say that, which doesn't mean anything, obviously.
Yeah.
If he's not fucking her, why is she in the show, right?
Yeah, which means she probably will by the end of the show, right? That's what that means. But you know what was a great line from her is when she said Warren Buffett said that books are best investment after stocks, property, and art. That's
rich people.
That's like fourth place.
Hey, shout out San Diego Art Walk, dude. I bought this original piece. It's amazing. I spent $400. My first original like art I've ever bought. I put it downstairs. I'll send you a picture. You're going to be kind of surprised.
Oh, yeah. Okay, send me a picture. Now I'm curious. Yeah. I have original art.
Oh, I know you do. I've been to your house.
Yeah.
We are
very cool.
Nothing if not classy motherfuckers that don't murder people. We invest in art and books.
Okay, wait, but does original art mean, because these pieces that I have, the artist did them and then the artist did replicas of them. So is it still original?
No,
Or does
that's
it
a
have
print.
to be only one of a kind?
That's what
No,
you
it's not
that's
a
what you
print.
called it. It's a replica. You can't go back and say
No,
it's
no,
original.
no. It's not like they were like this whatever Monet. I'm going to repaint Monet. It wasn't like that. It was like an original idea that they painted. They just sell it. They just
Oh, they
sell
keep
it,
making
and then
it.
they
They're
sell
not
it.
actually printing
They
it.
keep
Oh, yeah,
making
that's
it.
cool.
They
Yeah.
keep making
I don't
it.
actually
Yeah.
know if that's original. So the one that I got, I'll send you a picture. He specifically said, I don't do any prints, so you'll never see this print anywhere. And he's like, I'm not going to make it again. Like, I might do different colors or something, but everything at his booth was original. And then he got selected as one of 2 Mexican artists to go to the Louvre last year.
Oh, wow.
The fuck, what are these balloons doing in my face? What the fuck? Did you see that?
Yeah, I
Well,
did. That's
that was
funny.
weird. Okay, congratulations, I guess, to him.
Yeah.
Okay, calm down, our software. But he was amazing. She's right, Bronte. Invest in stocks and books and art.
Books, really? I don't know about books. Like, I don't know.
She's
Like,
looking for like a
books
rare
seem-
book that's worth $100,000. It's pretty obvious. Like if you have a first
Okay.
edition of anything,
Yeah.
like Peter Rabbit, or I don't know why I brought up Peter Rabbit. Oh, I know why. Because
There's a
there's
whole
a Friends
Friends
episode
episode.
where
Yes.
shit, dude, you're
About
right.
Peter.
Fucking strangest shit comes into my brain. You watched that episode, right?
Yeah, hell yeah, I watched that episode.
Where Chandler's trying to fuck Joey's girlfriend and he ends up fucking her.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Like, Jesus
Well,
Christ.
hey, if a man is going to think about getting like a Peter Rabbit book for a
He's trying to
woman,
get in. He's trying to stick it
know.
in. Like, he's not trying to be
Yeah.
nice to you, ladies.
Well, also, Joey sucks. He can't even freaking find any normal gift. Can you imagine that? Joey actually really sucks. He was so romanticized
He was like a weird,
in Friends.
like,
but
he was almost criminal.
he treated people really badly.
Yeah. I mean, part of it was because his IQ was supposed to be like 65, right? So I think a lot of it was that. But I don't understand this like complete compulsion to fuck anything that comes across your desk in New York City. And then they're like, oh, Joey, you're such a badass because you say, how you doing? I didn't understand.
But you know, now that we exactly, you're so right. But now that we're going down this like Peter Rabbit hole, I do.
Yeah.
I feel like Joey actually, he might have had trauma because remember that whole scene, that like favorite scene of mine. He gets his inseam done and he sends Chandler to the same guy, like for
The
tailoring.
tailor goes right up his crotch. Yeah.
Yeah, and the tailor goes and like molests him basically, and the tailor's been molesting him since he was 12 years old. So who knows what else has gone on in his life that he's now this raging.
I can only eat
machismo.
fucking
Yeah.
sandwiches all day. Okay, well, let's keep this going.
How you
Hey,
doing?
Okay, check out this reference. Remember when he sleeps with Ross and he gets all fucking weirded out because they took a nap together?
Yeah.
But then Joey's the one that comes back and he's like, I want to do it again. And Ross is like, I'm too manly. And I'm like, Ross, really?
Friends didn't age
It didn't age
well.
well. Yeah. Because Ross was, I'm not saying
Yeah.
he's gay. Who cares? I don't care if he's gay. But he's like, I'm
Well, I
too
think
manly to
that's the
cuddle with
point.
you. I'm like, I've never
But I
cuddled with a
think that's
dude,
the
but I would
point.
have if the nap was the best of all time.
Well, that's the point, though. Ross was the least machismo, and in that time, people had to prove
It's
it.
like an
So
insecurity
he
thing,
had
yeah.
to be like,
Because Chandler
it's
didn't
an
do that, right?
insecurity,
Chandler was
yeah.
just like
Yeah.
he's like a wet noodle, right? But people
Yeah.
liked him too, so I don't know. Well, Monica liked him because she just wanted to control him, so that was pretty obvious.
I mean, of the three on the show, which one do you think is most husband material? Obviously, Chandler.
Yeah.
He had a stable job. He was funny. He actually listened to you.
Yeah.
Ross is going to be this big victim.
He was insane,
like,
dude. When
crying
he
all
broke
the
up with
time,
Rachel,
like-
I was like, is this going to turn into Joe Goldberg you? He wasn't very, very stable at all during that breakup.
yeah, and then the turkey sandwich thing.
Oh, the
remember?
rageaholic,
Like, the
yeah.
rage over the yeah. So that's not exactly stable. And then Joey's just going to cheat on you 900 times. So the only husband option
Is Chandler.
Well,
last thing I'm going to say about Friends, and this is a theory of mine, but I think the writing was consistent in the sense that the characters kind of stay similar to like what you just described. The next step for Chandler is, you know what, right? He was a complete cuck. And I think if the show kept going or went into the movie realm or if it was rated R or something, I'm pretty sure Monica had no desire to stay faithful to Chandler. That's my theory. Because Chandler is the ultimate cuck.
I don't know.
He would have let her do it.
I don't know.
He would have let her do it.
Oh, they were moving to the suburbs. And
Where do you think swingers go? They go to the suburbs.
Yeah, but maybe, but also, don't you think there's many married couples that stay married for decades and decades that just are like this and they just stick in the same pattern?
I'm going to hit my...
Like, it's not...
Yeah. Okay, well...
Should we go into our boiling
I need to
point?
get into my boiling point. Anything else from episode 2? We went through Reagan, we went through Maddie, we went through Bronte at the end.
That Bronte, when she gets stuck in the cage, she really plays well. This, like, I'm a dumb girl and you're such a powerful man, please help me role, until Joe lets her out. And then she's like, I read all your writings. And I'm like,
she knows.
Okay. And she knows.
Yeah.
And then Joe, like, he's totally effing with her and he takes forever to let her out because he's, like, also on this major, major power trip.
Oh, he
like,
likes it when someone's...
he loves it.
That's cool. At least they're showing him as a villain because when she's in there, he gets excited, right? Like, he likes it.
So, So in my life, a woman once told me that you should always be firm when you talk to men. But if you need something from them, just make them feel like they're a little bit above you because they like that. That's what someone told me. I told that. No, I don't like.
Don't be fucking with me, man.
Like, you're my peer. And I told that to Brian.
You think peers don't fuck with me?
I mean, probably, but
whatever.
Yeah.
You told Brian?
I don't need to. Yeah, I told Brian. He was just like, damn, that's some savage.
Brian's like,
shit.
what the fuck did she do to me? Why'd you tell him? Why'd you tell him that?
Because I'm honest with him too.
Okay, cool. Anyways, I am honest as well to a fault, but my boiling point we've already touched on, right? The only thing I'm going to say is, how the fuck do you get away with this? I understand it's a TV show. I totally get it. But I kind of feel like there would be some lore about him. He would be all over Instagram. If Joe was around, I think he would have a following if the media would pick up on it. But only a white man that looks like that, that's well-read, that has that sort of fantasy man appeal, mysterious, whatever. That's the only kind of person that would be able to get away with this. What do you think?
100%. And actually, Penn Badgley himself said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, fun fact, a little tea time.
Let's do it.
Our whole cast of Muslim Matchmaker went to the premiere of Netflix U, and Penn Badgley was there. And I saw on one of their clips.
What?
Yeah.
Muslim Matchmaker's Hulu. You is Netflix.
I know.
That's amazing.
It made me wonder, is Muslim Matchmaker going to move to Netflix? I'm just
Put me in casting. Let's go.
Okay. But they all went to the U premiere and the whole cast was there. Penn was there, and Penn was saying exactly this. He was basically like, the fact that this character can be so beloved and, you know, people can like him so much, even though he's such a terrible, terrible person, is a testament to how much somebody that looks like me can get away with stuff. That's literally what he said.
He's a smart dude.
Yeah.
He was also in Gossip Girl, right? Which is, I don't know anything about it, but I'm assuming he was a privileged man in that as well.
He was, but he was the least privileged of the privileged people. Yeah. He was the one all the privileged people shat on because he wasn't privileged enough.
He was the poorest rich man in the show, like in Succession. You don't want to have $5 million. You don't want to be the poorest rich person on earth.
Yeah, he had to bus himself into the private school from Brooklyn instead of living in Manhattan. So
it's tough life. It's tough life. That 7-minute subway ride from E Street Station in Brooklyn to Middle Manhattan. Yeah, it's a tough life. Anyways, I don't think this boiling point is necessarily reserved for this episode. I think that's a boiling point that we do almost on every episode.
It's just a boiling point of life.
And again, people, it's not so like black and white, pardon the stupid ass term, but just be careful who you fall in love with, who you think is your like fantasy guy. I do think people like that, and if he's saying it, then I'm going to say it. They have the privilege of A, doing what they want, which is obvious from Joe, but B, they can hide their indiscretions very well. Yeah. And I think that's the thing that people don't realize. It's like, oh, this guy's hot, but that's like the worst thing you can do when you meet someone because you're already clouded. Like your brain is so murky by that point that you're never going to get to actually know him.
Yeah, and how you use people's good perceptions of you, how you leverage that. There was a scene in Queen of South that Brian and I were watching where the woman kills somebody and then she's like running out of the hotel. She's going down the stairwell and this guy comes out into the stairwell. He's like, "Did you hear gunshots?" She's like, "Yeah, get back into your room and like run away." Right. And he's like, "Okay." Because she was this, small, petite,
it's
pretty
her, right?
woman.
Yeah.
And so, it's her. She's the killer, but that's not what his perception is. And so I think that happens a lot, and that happens a lot with Joe, obviously, right? And people like Joe, and that's Penn Badgley's point.
And I want to actually attach a real life example to this, and it's going to be super innocuous, very small example that I'm about to give. But Friday night, we went to watch the Lakers Timberwolves game in San Diego, in Carlsbad, which is Carlsbad is like not where I would live in San Diego, but a lot of people like living there. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So I did go to like this bar restaurant kind of thing, and I took my daughter. She's 16 and she wanted to watch basketball, and I met my basketball rec league team, so it made a lot of sense, right? So we actually reserved a table in the middle of this patio, and we're sitting there watching TV. The games are on. It's like really fun. We're getting all these appetizers. Everyone's having fun. There's like 6 or 7 of us. There's like a group of guys, all white guys, one Asian guy, probably 17, 18 people deep, all rolled around this like picnic bench next to us. Like they have picnic benches. That's what the restaurant has.
Yeah.
And then he sits down on our table and like faces the other way to the other table. And it's kind of like, okay, I've never had anyone sit at my table ever at a restaurant ever.
Why is your
life.
ass on my
Yeah.
Dude, if somebody put their ass on a surface I was eating on, I'd be extremely
It's not, no. He
insulted.
sat on the bench. Like it's a picnic bench. So it was, my daughter was on the corner. I was in the middle. And then my friend was on the right of me. And then there's 3 people on the other side. It's a picnic bench. So he squeezed in next to my daughter, facing the other way, and then he looks at me, I look at him, and then whatever. Then everybody, my friend Mary was like, she's like the captain of the basketball team. She's like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Dude, chill out. I'm not trying to start a fight with these 17 dudes, right?" So he looks at me, he's like, "Is this okay?" I'm like, "It's totally okay, dude, but you could have just asked." That's what I said.
Yeah.
It is a very friendly environment, so it wasn't like fine dining. So it's totally fine. And then that's not even the worst part, right? So the worst part is he's listening to us talk about basketball, and they're watching basketball as well. He turns around. I think he went for about 25 minutes mansplaining like every team, players, basketball. And my daughter was just like, "What the fuck?" And they were like arguing about Ja Morant from Memphis Grizzlies. And it's not the content that is offensive. It's just the fact that he thought this was like what we wanted.
Yeah.
We appeased this dude for almost 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And just let him get it out because it was making him feel so good, right? He's like, "Oh my God, I'm entertaining all these people." I could just see like the privilege, the entitlement. Like I said, I'm not mad because he was a nice guy, and I'm pretty social, so I didn't really care that much. And, I asked him like what he did for a living and stuff like that. He didn't do shit. So none of them did. But anyways, then I was like, "Just so you know, she's 16, and I don't know why you're sitting right next to her." And then Sophie was like, "Can I switch seats?" So then I got like kind of like mad because he was really, really drunk as well. And then whatever. That's why he kept going. That's the story.
That's
what do you
annoying.
think? It's annoying, right? Like it's not. I don't think like I'm not mad. It's more so like very small story. I know we went for murdering and all that shit, but this is privilege. There's no way in hell that unless I was at Coachella or something, you can approach a group of girls like they're gonna talk to you at a restaurant. No, dude. Sitting next to like a bachelor party or something, or like a group of girls having a birthday party. I think I could pull it off, but I don't think I could pull it off like that seamlessly. Just sit down and it's all good.
Well, I don't think you would do it.
I wouldn't
like
do it
that,
either.
right? I think,
He wasn't coming to hit on anyone. It was just like, "This is a seat. This is mine."
Yeah.
And now you're going to listen to me talk.
Yeah.
So whatever. Shout out. I don't even know his name because he said too many words. I couldn't remember it.
Shout out entitled D-bag.
I'll probably see you tonight headed out to Encinitas Street Fair right now. So
Nice. All right, cool.
thank you so much, everyone, for listening to Chai After Dark. This was really fun. Stay tuned. Next Tuesday, we will have you, episodes 3 and 4. We're also going to talk a little bit about The Pit on Max because we're having nostalgia from ER and Noah Wiley is back. So
Yeah, you was just so enthralling. We didn't get to The Pit.
yeah, so we'll talk about The Pit next week. We'll talk about episodes 3 and 4 next week. I'm going to take the rage down a little bit. I don't think I was actually ragey today, so I'm feeling really good.
Yeah, and I liked our little Friends nostalgia session,
Shout out Ross.
Yeah. Yeah. Joey and Chandler. R.I.P.
Everybody, please check out Chai After Dark everywhere. Please listen to us. If you're on Spotify and Apple, just hit that 5 stars. It's all good.
Yeah.
If you don't like what we say, just email us and we can talk about it. And we do respond, and we respond quite lengthily. Bigly.
But you can email us with bad stuff, but on the actual review, just only write the good stuff.
Yeah. Cool. Chai After Dark everywhere. Let's jingle out of here. I need to go meet the love Quinn of my life. Shout out.
Dun, 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 dun.